city never sleeps, and neither do the dreamers who build its pulse. From every corner of the globe they come. Visionaries, creators, leaders, each carrying a spark ready to ignite the world. This is not an event. It's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds. A movement of momentum. Sifu Rafael, Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance. This is the NYC Experience. Mastermind, light up the city. They coming from the east, coming from the west. Knowledge on deck, put the truth to the test. Leaders in motion, hearts in sync, dropping wisdom so deep it'll make you think. They bring stories, sweat and flame, different faces, one shared name. Elevation, that's the sound. NYC Experience Mastermind, where purpose is found.
Woo! Lancelot, brother, good morning. How are you?
Ooh, a little tired, but blessed to be here and blessed to be on the show. I rushed back to make sure I was here by 7. I didn't get in this morning until 4 o'clock in the morning from
My goodness.
Trinidad, but I'm here. I'm awake and happy to be a part of the New York City experience and with you, Sifu. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you just talked about dedication, right? Dedication to be here with me. Thank you. Listen, New York City Mastermind Experience is something that you and I came up with together, right? We were sitting on our first meeting, and we both agreed that we needed to change the world. And this was an impactful way to do it. And we have, because we've changed so many people's lives with our live events. And so I love the topic today because it's connected to success. And one of the things that I always ask people is, are your relationships actually helping you grow? And are you helping other people grow around you? And so let me ask you that question.
oh man, Sifu, this is a perfect question. I just got back from one of the most exhilarating experiences that I have and that I do have each and every year. Gentleman that I teamed up with, sort of like how you and I teamed up, as a guy I grew up with. And he just happens to be a legendary basketball coach. He is the director of the Gauchos, which is this incredible basketball organization in the Bronx, and he's
Mm,
director of that. And we go to different countries, and in this specific country, we've been going to for the last 4 years, Trinidad Island, Trinidad, and through basketball, we're teaching these young men and women about resilience, about pushing past their limit, about dedicating themselves, about the game of basketball is a microcosm for the game of life, and how you can use basketball as a means to get an education. And you don't have to be a professional ball player,
mm,
but through basketball, you can come to America and get the education you deserve and come back to your country and get a job and then help other people out. And we're seeing that as
mm.
people are going through this organization called Score Big that I've been a part of. And it's exhilarating. I come back charged because, a lot of people talk about helping others and but I do it and I do it consistently and I see the benefits of it. And it helps me to continue to drive to be the best that I could be so that I then can
Mm.
help others to be the best that they can be. So
I love it.
although I'm tired, I'm still charged at the weekend and looking forward to our work together as we help others to be the best that they can be.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the things that we all have to be cognizant of is you cannot build significant success alone, right? Even the most independent entrepreneur eventually needs introductions. They need advice. They need partnerships. They need the connections. They need referrals. um, opportunities or someone willing to open a door for them. Just like this gentleman did for you, the fact that you were just in another country and you were training people to impact their lives. And, you posted a couple of little clips of you being there and so forth. And it's just incredible what you're doing. But you would not be able to be doing that if you did not get introduced to the opportunity. And when sometimes, a lot of times, opportunities knock and people don't open the door because
Absolutely.
they're afraid.
Hmm. Absolutely. I think it's about what your intentions are. It's about
Mhm.
what your purpose is. A lot of people, if this door came to them, they would not open it because
Mm,
it doesn't. On the other side, there's purpose. There's not a great deal of money. There's no money, in fact.
mm,
So many people, and in this business especially, everything is cloaked around you're helping people, but then you're looking to make money. I work specifically on my purpose, and I do this because this is a part of being a beacon of positive light and energy to people around the world.
mhm.
If money's not attached initially, I'm fine with that. In fact, because I'm doing God's work, I believe down the line I will be rewarded. Whatever that reward is, I'm willing to accept that. But right now, my job is to be that beacon of positive light. And that's
Good.
what around people will help you to do. And people see that, they could feel that. This
Mhm.
organization, Score Big, that I work with, can see and feel that. And so when we come, they take care of us. When I tell you take care of us, there's not a thing that we want or need for that they don't come making sure that we get it's taken care of. And that kind of stuff. And then to see the appreciation out of the kids that you're working with, that's all I need. That's all I need. You know.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, you said something very important. People are not willing to take this opportunity because it doesn't pay. But they're so missing the point because you are getting paid. You're getting paid in, my gosh, um, you're getting paid by the lives you're changing in
That's
people.
right.
You're getting paid by the experiences you're having. And some people, they only want monetary payment. They don't understand that the value is way more
Hmm.
when there's not just monetary, but there's lives.
Hmm.
Because lives are the biggest commodity. When you can help another person, my goodness, that is beautiful.
Hmm. And I think a lot of times we get in the business of talking the talk. How can I be of service for you? But
Mhm.
that's not really what you're there for. You're there underneath all of that to try to sell me something, or
That's right.
you know what I'm saying. And I see a lot of that now, and it's almost because I've been around so long and I see the difference. It's almost like I can smell it out right away. I can smell it.
For sure.
Those that are authentic and those that are truly not authentic. But what drives the authentic people is helping others to be the best that they can be through our lives and our experiences. You know what I mean? And
Uh,
that's powerful. And that is what wakes me up in the morning and drives me to do what I do on a consistent basis.
yeah, without a doubt. You know, when we talk about connect connected to success, I believe that connections really make that such a powerful thing. And a lot of people think, well, like, on my phone, I have 6,000 contacts, I have 30,000 contacts. But to be honest with you, contacts and connections are not the same thing. Because you can have 1,000 contacts and still have very few meaningful relationships. And when
Absolutely.
I say connections, they should be a relationship. Because listen, and in the past, I made the mistake of just going through people, right? I great to know you. We're doing an event together, and that was it. And then we're done, right? One and done. I don't do that anymore. because I realized that my network should not just know my name, they should know my value. And therefore, when I make a connection with a person, I make sure they have my cell number, my private cell number, that they have my image, I have theirs. This is why we do what we do with Connected Leaders Academy, with New York City Mastermind Experience, with Unified Leadership, with all the different things that we do with Speaking Prowess, with everything that you do wherever you go. We do the same thing. We take a selfie, we make sure that we get the person's phone number, their email, all that stuff, and they get ours. And then we don't stop there. We connect with them afterwards and say, hey, listen, great time. I'm so happy. And we send them the image. And so staying top of mind, I think, is also part of success. That's connecting to your success by staying top of mind with people. And this is why sometimes I got to tell you, as much as we hate social media, if we use social media the right way,
Mhm.
we can stay connected.
Absolutely. It's interesting because there's a part of me, each day I listen to at least 30 to 40 minutes of positive. I fill my mind in the morning with positive
Mhm.
reinforcement. And Stoicism is something that I listen to. And one of the things they say in Stoicism is you don't need to be on social media and you don't need to shout out what you're doing. And I understand theoretically what they mean. But if you actually, like you said, could utilize social media the proper way, you can connect with other people because they are
Mhm.
seeing what you are doing. And if they want to be interested, then they will connect with you through what you are doing. And you can
Right.
only see what you're doing through social media. So it's very interesting because, again, listening and being a part of stoicism, it's about staying away from that because social media could be so much noise and so distracting because there's so
Mhm.
many opinions out there that you lose your own opinion because you're so busy listening, to you're scrolling, you're on the internet, you're answering emails, it's all kind of noise that takes away from your own thought and your own thinking. But at the same time, as you said, if you utilize the social media to show what it is, who you are, show what it is what you're doing, you can connect with people, and people that are interested can connect with you as well. So totally agree on what you said.
Well, yeah, I mean, think about if people are connecting with you on social media, maybe they never met you, but all of a sudden they're in the same space as you, or your name comes up. So,
Mhm.
what do people think of you when your name comes up in a room you're not in?
Right.
Is important as well, because social media may listen, there's a lot of people who are fakers out there, and there's always going to be that, unfortunately. But there's people who are doing really good stuff out there on social media. They're helping other people like you are. And considering what somebody may say about you, even though they never met you, is because of what you're doing, because they see what you're doing, because you're being honest with what you're doing. And so I think when somebody thinks about you and you're not in the room and it's positive, that's a win-win for everybody.
That's
It's
right.
a win for them to even mention you, because other people will say, wait a minute, I need to get to know this guy Lancelot. I hear he's doing great things. And then if they ever meet you in person, they're going to go, oh my God, I heard so much about you. Meanwhile, they never met you in person. But here's the way that everybody who's listening or is going to watch this on the replay, you can meet Lancelot in Atlanta come September 25th and 27th. So wouldn't you want to meet this incredible human being, a good brother, a good friend, an incredible human being who is changing lives throughout the world? Come to Atlanta, meet my good friend, Lancelot Theobald Jr., and you will be blessed, just like I was blessed to meet him.
Well, thank you, Sifu. Appreciate that. Looking forward to meeting and being a part of the New York experience. I have a couple of my family members coming down, and they're excited, and I look forward to just because there's so many people,
Mm,
wonderful people that'll be are attached to the New York City experience already, and the connection and how we do it. That's the other thing that goes untold or we don't speak enough about is how we curate the room and
mm,
how we help people to connect. And for those people that might not be used to connecting and networking, we're there to help you because when you're in a room of people that are connecting for real, then you learn to connect just by way of proximity. And it's not about what you do, it's about who you are. And spend time just talking about who you are as a person, what you're like, where you're from, because these are the kind of conversations that you have that then spring you into possibly, okay, well, I may be able to do this for you. You may be, as opposed to this is what I do. What do you do? Here's my business
yeah,
card.
yeah, I
And
love that.
then we have the meetings after the meetings, which Jose
Mm,
designs on purpose, where you're able to connect even further. When in each meeting after the meeting, the what is it drop the guards drop down more and more, and you really get a chance to connect with the person authentically as the evening
yeah.
gets later. So it's a wonderful experience, and I look forward to experiencing that with you, Sifu, and To, and Jose, and the rest of the crew. It's
Yeah.
going to be a blast.
Yeah, we call it peeling the onion, right? Getting to the
Yes.
core of the human being. So I suggest even when people go to an event, right, or they meet somebody, stop asking this question: What can this person do for me?
Mm,
Some of your strongest relationships begin when you ask a better question: How can I help this person?
mm,
One person can change your trajectory, but we never know until we allow them to be helped. Because when you help somebody, what do you think they're going to want to do for you?
mm.
They're going to want to help you back, right? And it's the reciprocity factor when we help somebody. And we may have to help them 10 times before they help us one time. But that one time that they help us may magnify what we've done for them 1,000 times over.
Right.
So
Right.
ask the right question. How can I be of service?
Mm.
And that really changes the dynamics of a connection.
That's right. I mean, Jose, the great Jose Escobar, always says, in that room that you're one connection away, that there's one
Mm,
person in that room that could change your life. And the only way you're going to find that out, good morning, Farah, is by
mm,
connecting. And but understand that there's in that room there's somebody that can change your life in a way that you don't even experience, but you will not know that unless you get out there and connect with people.
absolutely. And sometimes your connection isn't the opportunity. You may connect with another person, and that's cool, and they like you, and so forth. They may actually know a person
First, there you go.
who knows a person, who
Right.
knows a person, who
Exactly.
knows a person. It might be 8 people away who becomes the power. So that first person is your power connection because then it spirals, right?
Right.
And later on, an opportunity will be presented to you because of that person that you may have never thought was going to be impactful. But so we are asking everybody to don't ever negate connecting with another person because you think maybe they're not well dressed. Maybe they don't speak well. Maybe this, maybe that. But they may know people.
Mhm.
So just by looking at you, I don't know who you know, Lancelot. Who
Right.
do you know? I don't know who you know. By looking at you, it doesn't matter how well dressed you are or not well dressed. It doesn't matter how you speak or you conduct yourself. I don't know who you know. But
Right.
if we become friends, you may introduce me to somebody that can impact my life, that can help me with a business venture, that can connect me with somebody else who I'm looking for. So connections, 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 they impact us, but we should never take a connection for granted either.
That's right. And another thing is so interesting to that is you never know. You got to always be careful about what you say
Mhm.
and how you present yourself in any situation because you never know who knows who. Now,
Oh
I
yeah.
just got back from Trinidad, and I was with two female coaches, and one of the female, because these are the top female coaches in New York State right now. They had the number one team in New York last year.
Mm.
So come to find out, and we, we were hitting it off, and come to find out, I know her aunt for
Mm.
years. She met me when I was on tour with her best friend Julia Garrison. Now, I say this to say that you don't know who you're dealing with because it took almost a week before I found out that we had a common person in a common person in common. And then come to find out Michael Stevenson, we all know, went to school with her.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, 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 grammar school. So
Oh
my
wow.
point is that in these connections, you never know who you're connecting with. So be your authentic self, always understanding that you could be one connection away from something big.
Well, you and I were driving, like 3 hour drive, and I said a place I was at, and
Yes.
you're like, "Wait a minute, what? You used to go there?" My dad owned that place,
Yeah.
and that alone, we were connected 30 years before we even met, right?
That's
Maybe
right.
40
That's
years
right.
before we even met, whatever it is. And it's really interesting because you're right. You don't know what you don't know.
Mhm.
The other thing that I want to mention is that if you continually go to the same place and interact with the same people, it doesn't matter. You can love them; they're great people. But genuinely, how many new opportunities can you expect when you go to the same place? You
Right.
go to the same. You're going to get the same experience all the time. So I believe the strongest relationships are built before you need them, because sometimes for those people who are coming to the Atlanta event in New York, the New York City Mastermind Experience in Atlanta, is called Ascend. And the reason we named it Ascend is because you continue to rise. If you don't rise by coming to our events, you're not coming to the event prepared. You
Mhm.
need to be prepared when you come to our events to be able to connect with another person, to follow up, to stay connected. Because once, what we just said before, once you connect with a person, you create a chain of opportunity. Maybe not with them, but down the line, their connections can eventually become your connection. And if I met 20 people and 20 of those people know 200 people, how many people did I just meet? Oh my goodness. It's incredible. So when we, yes, absolutely. Atlanta is a powerful proximity. But
Good
here's the
morning,
thing,
Amy. Good morning.
Amy, you're so right. But here's the thing, right? We're going to meet people in the room, but those people are going to know people who are not in the room, and they may introduce us to them. So opportunity is only available to those who take action. If you don't come to Atlanta, I can't promise you any. But if you come to Atlanta, I'm going to promise you great connections. Because one of the things that we do, Jose does, Lancelot does, I do, is that we make sure that you get to meet people that are like minded or have something that you may need. And we're matchmakers. I'm going to say it right. We're matchmakers. So we'll go, oh, you got to meet Johnny. He's over here, or
Mhm.
Mary, or Tommy, or anybody. And we go in and we introduce you. Have you met this one yet? No. Oh, you guys need to talk. And then we don't stay there and hog the conversation. We leave them alone so they can mingle together. And we saw it in when we were in
Tampa.
Tampa. I was going to say Orlando, Tampa, because I introduced people, and then later on, I saw them hanging out together, doing this. They were going to go get some food together. They were going to do things, and then they became almost inseparable. But the only other thing is that when you come to an event, if you just get acquainted with one person, you're missing the opportunity of getting to know the other people.
Mm,
So there's not just one person in the room, which is okay to connect with. And I encourage you and take some time to connect with them. But then you may have to leave that comfort zone. This is what happens with people. They connect with somebody and they're like, oh, you're my people. And they connect with them and they forget everybody else and they get versed in a conversation. And if anybody comes to jump in, they look at them like, why are you interrupting us? Then you see we're in a deep conversation. And so they're missing the opportunity of deeper connections because that connection that happened at first should continue, but you got to give room for other connections. So it's not just this, it's this. So we keep building and then building, and then it becomes many.
And if I can build on what you were just saying, I
Sure.
would say it's the work is what you're speaking about that
Mhm.
has to occur after the connection is made. It's not enough to connect. Uh, uh, in Tampa, I think one of the things that made Tampa such a success was the connections, and the weekend was fabulous.
Mhm.
The meetings after the meeting were outstanding, but I think it was the work that was done afterwards that truly should be talked about, because we connected, and a lot of the people like Heather and Leon and Angeline, we all had each other on each other's show. And then Angeline introduced me to somebody else who I'm
Mhm.
now involved with. But this is all as a result of the Tampa experience, but then taking it upon ourselves to do the work afterwards. The work doesn't stop once you connect. That's when the work starts, and you must do the work in order to continue. Renee is a part of the your next event, and just that's how it works. So it's not enough to just be able to connect, which we're going to help you with. Then you have to use those connections and continue to follow up in those connections, and you're, like you said earlier, you're 2 or 3 connections away, because they may know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody that they can introduce you to. And that's what happened with Angelina and myself. And so that's a great example of what happens when you get involved with events like this. And I can tell you,
Absolutely.
it's you got to experience it. You got to take the chance. You got to put the money down. You got to do whatever you have to do to get involved in these rooms, because they can definitely change your life.
Well, you just talked about an investment, right? If I said, hey, Lancelot, I want you to invest in this stock, and this stock is based on this product, and and it's a sure win, and you go and invest, and all of a sudden this thing collapses,
Mm,
and now you lost money. Who are you going to blame?
you,
Me?
you know what I'm saying?
So you're going to
You,
go, I'm not taking advice from him again on
uh,
stocks. Wow, that's terrible. But if I introduce you to a person and I introduce you to another person and I say, listen, this is on you, the relationship that you build. I can only tell you what I know about them. You need to find out on your own. So the strongest relationships are built before you ever meet them. And I said that before. If the only time someone hears from you is when you need something, that's not a relationship. So building a relationship, the introduction is an important aspect. And we're going to introduce anybody who comes to Atlanta to other people they need to. but the follow up. The follow up is what separates people. It separates everyone who says, it's great meeting you. Very few actually continue the conversation, like you were saying. So don't underestimate the person sitting beside you. Titles can fool you. The person who doesn't appear important today could become the incredibly important person to your future. So when you are introduced to somebody, you have to do your due diligence to find out about them. And one of the things that some people do is they value people. Like if you're going to go to buy a stock, if you're smart enough, you look at the stock, does the value, how's it been trading, all these different things, and you can do that, right? But to a person, a lot of people, they try to put the same energy into it, and the first question they ask is, what do you do for a living? Oh my gosh, that's such an empty question, and something that somebody goes, oh my god, oh, they probably want to sell me something, right? So when people ask me, what do you do for a living, I'll say a lot. What are you looking
Which
for?
you do, which is very true. So
But so I'll say, what are you looking for? So then what I say when somebody says, what do you do for a living? And I'll say a lot, and I'll say, what are you looking for? They'll say, I said, how can I be of service? That comes back to what I said earlier. How can I help you? Because if you just want to know what kind of car I'm driving, what kind of money I have, where do I travel, where do I buy my suits, where I do that's none of your business anyway. But if you want to know how I can help you, that that's important to me, right? Because if I can help you, and it doesn't mean that I'm going to sell you something, right? And some people say, how can I be of service? And the person goes, oh, I don't know, I need this. Oh, I can sell that to you. No, no, no. Hang on a minute. Find out why they need it. Maybe they got burnt by somebody, and all of a sudden they see you as another person who's about to burn them. So we need to be careful with relationships and how we build them.
uh, that yeah, we need to really talk about that because I
Yes,
think
sir.
the other thing is be careful about who you introduce other people to because you said who are we going to blame if that thing doesn't work?
Mm.
I'm gonna blame you.
Yeah.
And I want people to hear this and hear it clearly. Do not introduce people that you don't truly know and you're truly vetted. Because then you introduce them, they get over. I'm blaming that on you. You brought me into a situation where I am now not getting what I'm supposed to get. Obviously, this guy is not who he is supposed to be, but yet you introduced me to him.
Mm.
And that's something that pisses me off is when people get out there and they start introducing people because they might get a commission from that. And we're supposed to be a part of a group, a tight knit group, and all of a sudden you allow somebody in who has other ulterior motives.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful of that. Don't introduce people because, especially in a group like this where it's about real connections, because you might get a commission off of that,
Yeah.
not knowing who that person is. So that's
Absolutely.
very important because I'm not going to do that to you. If I introduce you to somebody, it's going to be because I have vetted them, I have seen what they're able to do, and I believe in them. I believe in what they're about. I'm not just
Yeah.
going to introduce you to somebody because they're going to give me a commission off of that. No. So
Yeah.
that I wanted to. I'm glad you. I don't know how that we came about that, but that's very important
Mm.
when you're in a
It's
group where it's about
connected
connection.
to success. This is why I brought it up because it's part of how do you connect to success if you're not thinking about these things, if they're not top of mind. And you made me think of something also. When I was 16 years old, I recommended a friend of mine to work at the job that I had. And I valued this job very much. I was extremely good at it. And because the boss really appreciated the way I work. He said, because you recommended him,
I'm gonna tell
he's
you. That's
hired.
right.
But here's the thing, it might have been 8 months later. I didn't know it. That friend of mine was stealing from the company. Guess who got fired by association? I
You
did.
did? Yeah,
I
yeah.
got fired
Talk
because
about it.
he said,
That's
if
right.
you brought him in, you're probably
That's
stealing
right.
too. And I didn't even know about it.
That's
Right.
right.
So,
Talk about it. People need to
so here's
understand
another one,
this.
right? Later on, I recommended a mentor of mine who I had known for many years to another business. He did business with them and never paid them. That soured my relationship with the person I recommended to because they wanted me to pay their fee.
Mhm.
I said, whoa. I said, all I did was recommend them. I said, it was up to you to make sure they paid you, make sure they collected. I'm not telling you how to do business, but that taught me a lesson. And this is somebody I trusted
Mhm.
100% because they were my mentor. There was somebody who I valued and I trusted. I am no longer in
Yes.
connection with them. But so we have to be very careful as to who we listen. I trusted both of them. The other one, I was 16 years old. I was naive. This one, I was in my 30s. I had known this person for at least 10 years, maybe like 12 years. And I thought they were honorable. Later on, I found out they were not,
Mhm.
right? But I could not, had they paid their fee to this company that they worked with and they cheated other people, I would not have known,
Mhm.
right? But because they cheated the person I referred to, I felt bad doing business with these people. I continued doing business for like a couple of years, but then eventually I said, you know what? I bet you every time they hear my name, they're going to remember that they lost several $1,000s because of me. And so I said, you know what? It's time I move on because I don't want my name tainted. And those people tainted my name. So, yes, it's connected to success. You have to be careful.
Yeah.
Even though that mentor of mine was vetted as much as I knew, I just didn't know his business dealings.
Mhm.
That's the only difference.
I mean, I didn't realize how powerful this, topic
Oh, yeah.
was. But as we talk about it, it's so important. And a lot of people don't
Sure.
really understand and don't understand how valued your who you are and what you say.
Yeah.
And when you bring somebody into the fold who may not be who they say they are, you're responsible for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So before you start introducing and bringing a bunch of people in, make sure you know and vet who these people are. That is something I've had to learn through experiences, and now we pass what we've learned on to others
That's right.
because that's how you learn. You don't want to make the same mistake twice, and if you do, shame on you. But
That's right.
this is a powerful conversation, especially when you're a part of something that is about connecting. So it's all about 100% about connecting, and then you bring
Mm.
somebody in who is not authentically who they say they are. So
Yeah.
vet them. Yes.
Absolutely. Think about this, right? Your reputation travels through your network. So people talk about you when you're not there, whether it's good, bad, or whatnot. Your integrity, your reliability, your generosity, and your character become part of the personal currency. And we're talking about personal currency. We're not talking about financial currency.
Mhm.
We're talking about an individual. And that's what we started this whole thing about, right?
Mhm.
The people. And the reason you went to Trinidad wasn't for the money. It was for you because it's in your heart and it's in your passion, and it shows, my friend, that you, when you told me that day when we met, when we finally met for the first time and sat down and ate, that you wanted to change the world. And this is why you said, I'm in. New York City Mastermind Experience, I'm in, because together we're going to make an impact. So, yes, thank you for that.
Mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. It's also very exhilarating to come up face to face with others who authentically have the same vision.
Hmm.
You know, you're in a room of just noise, just noise. There's noise all around you. And then I believe in universal energy. And I believe that the universe will shift in such a way, although there's noise all around you, to connect. When you're authentic and you're real and your purpose is to help others, it will shift and bring you with other people who think like you. And we met, it was like I had a lot of people around me. It was getting late, and you kind of, hey, let's contact. And out of all the people I met, for some reason, I gave you a call, and it was like meeting up with somebody who was like-minded,
Yeah,
who had the same spirit, who was trying to do the same thing. And then I took a chance, as well as you took a chance on me.
that's
And
right.
this is the outcome of that. But it's when you got to, first of all, you have to be out there. I would not have met you unless I said yes to Brandon Gondoras's invitation
Correct.
to his event, who I ironically met at a time when I heard the inner voice inside of me that was telling me, although my career as an actor was going very well, I was in a movie, I just got another movie, I wasn't in my purpose. I wasn't living in my purpose. And it was that inner voice was telling me. And so I
Mhm.
decided to meet different people for no other reason than to connect without really knowing what I was doing. I met Brandon, who
Right.
then invited me to an event, and I said yes. And that's how I got to you. But it was connections. It's
That's
the
right.
connections that occurred, the connecting with Brandon and then saying yes to his event and then meeting you, that allowed me to get to this point today. But it's
Absolutely.
all about the connections and saying yes.
Hmm. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, listen, every time that we get a chance to um, impact another person, um, we don't sometimes even know what's the outcome. But if we come with compassion, with love, it's gonna build into something, right? So some relationships need to be released because guess what? Some connections are not necessarily the connections that need to be permanent. So, in order to stay connected to success, we need to have people who are like minded in our circle, our inner circle. Think about maybe when you were younger, you hung out with certain people. Maybe you went to the bar every Friday. Maybe you did this. But all of a sudden you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take my life a little bit more serious. Maybe I can't be at the bar every Friday night or Friday, Saturday, whatever it is. And then I need to really focus on my skills. I need to focus on my building my wealth and my education and all these things. And if I go to the bar on Friday and spend it and get drunk or whatnot. Saturday's a wasted day. So am I living my life, taking my paycheck to Friday night or spending a good amount of my paycheck on Friday night, buying drinks for other people, this, that, the other, and then killing my Saturday and then starting the same routine again next week so I can live for next Friday? Or did I have enough And I realized that that's never going to get me anywhere. I'm in a hamster wheel, right? Do I get off this hamster wheel, jump off, and leave all those people who are still on it? Because they're still circling that wheel. They're looking for every Friday. I'll see you next Friday. I can't wait to, pop down some drinks. So yeah, sometimes there's some certain connections you may have to like kind of walk away from, even though you love them. Maybe you've known them for some time, but they're not serving your life's purpose.
Hmm. Hmm.
So how do we stay connected to success? We need to find people who are doing what we want to do.
Hmm.
If we want to go drinking every Friday night, then yeah, we stay connected to them. But if we want more in life, if we want to be able to travel, we want to be able to learn to do and all these things, then we need to find people who are doing what we want to do. Success leaves clues.
Hmm.
The thing is, we need to find people who are successful and start to follow them.
Yes, yes. It's creating your environment, creating your own environment. Uh, if there's a saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, get the hell out of that room and find another room. It's about creating your environment. If for those who don't may be listening and don't know how to do it or don't know they need to create a new environment, if you're around people who are not thinking like you're thinking, if you hear that inner voice that's telling you that there's more for you out there, the first thing you need to do is get around people who are doing what you're doing. Get
That's
in
right.
environments like this. There's the plethora of different uh, talk shows like this that you can listen to and be a part of and connect with, befriend them. It's about environment. That's so important. Like the great Emilio always says, Roman, proximity is power. So,
Mm-hmm.
in order to have that proximity, you have to make the move and surround yourself and build your own environment. I
Right.
look at Rick Brunson, uh, from Jalen Brunson, who was the Knicks who won this year, and I
Right.
look at that as a prime example of surrounding yourself in the proper environment. When Rick would play on the 1999 team, that the last time the Knicks went to the championship with San Antonio, his son was about 3 or 4 years old. And what Rick did for his son was he would bring him around practice for no other reason than surround him around greatness, guys like Patrick Ewing and
Mm.
Allen Houston. And when you surround yourself around greatness, that proximity is power because you see what it is to be great. You feel it. You can reach out and touch it, and that has effect on you. And it's the same thing with yourself, whoever's listening. When you get around people that are doing what you're trying to do, who are successful at being an entrepreneur, who are successful at helping others to be the best that they can be, when you can reach out and touch that, that proximity is power.
Mm.
But you have to get around it. So the first thing I would say to you to do is save up your pennies and let's meet us in Atlanta and get around that proximity. And I promise you, those environments will help you to elevate into the person that you truly want to be.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So if you consider yourself lucky enough to be in the room with exceptional people, I think that the most important thing that we have to consider is how do we show up when we do show up, right? What is it that we're looking at when we're there? When we look at, and I don't want to say this the wrong way, but when we look at another person, what are we seeing? For me, I'm seeing opportunity to connect. I don't know them. I know nothing about them. But for me, it's also the opportunity to get to know them. So every time that we're in a space with other people, Do not waste the opportunity that's presented to you. Connect with them. Engage. Every chance you get, just connect with people. It's probably one of the most beautiful things that you can do.
For sure. For sure. Connection is power. And power is in connections. And it takes you to connect. Once you do it uh, once, then you understand what you're talking about. If you have
Right.
not experienced it, then you don't get it. But when you truly experience connecting with somebody and vibing with them, and the first time I experienced it was truly experienced it was at Emilio's event,
Mm,
and I was having conversations with several different people that I don't even have with people I've had relationships for years. And we
mm,
wind up speaking about intimate things and things that they were, sometimes things that they weren't exposing to other people just based off the fact that we were having a real conversation and connecting. And that's when it dawned on me what real connection is. It's
right.
different than networking. You could feel it, you could taste it, you could touch it when you're
Hmm.
sitting there having these conversations. And I know Jose always says you give him 15 or 20 minutes and then you go to the next person because you want to be able to meet everybody. And I found myself stuck, not because I had to be, but because I was
Right.
exhilarated through the conversation.
Mm,
So it's something that you will experience, and once you experience, you'll want to experience it again, because
yeah.
connecting for real is worth its weight in gold, and it's definitely different than networking.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. So connecting, networking, all of these different things. When you consider what we're building, what we're doing, come Atlanta, this is the place that we want you to be at. Because if you consider the opportunity that's in front of you, and I'm going to be honest with you, it does cost, right? You have to not do the things that you're normally going to do that those 3 days. Some people are just coming Saturday, Sunday. Some people are coming Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you have to give up something to be there. It is costly because you have to travel there. So that you have travel expenses. But the thing that we did to understand that people are spending good earned cash is that we made it super inexpensive for them to get a ticket. So for 197, you get all 3 days.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That's incredible. But here's the other crazy thing. For 597, you get VIP. And here's what VIP gives you. It gives you dinner on Friday night. It gives you Saturday, you get lunch. Saturday night, you get dinner. That alone is quite something. But it's not just the dinners or the lunches, it's the connections, the conversations you will have when you break bread with somebody. There's something really special when you relax, you calm down, you fill your tummy, you eat something delicious, and you get to have a conversation with people near you. Because if there's 30 people, you can't talk to all 30 at the table unless you're screaming. But the two people on either side of you, the three people in front of you, so those are five people you can have a good conversation with. And think about the power of five. Five. Five people that you can make an impact on. Five people that you can be helpful to. And you're just going to say your piece and you're telling them how you can be of help. Guess what five people are going to do for you? Five are going to pour back into you.
Mhm.
So the dividends are definitely there. So it's an investment. It's an investment in yourself, in your time, and in the energy that you're going to put forward. But you have to do follow up. You have to stay connected. You cannot expect somebody to just say, hey, here's my money, here's my credit card. No, that only happens if they know and trust you. Remember, who do you like doing business with? Somebody you don't know? Sometimes we do. We do shop on Amazon because we want a certain product. We want this product. We want this product. We want that, whatever it is. But when it comes to real business, we want to be able to do business with somebody we trust and know.
Absolutely.
Let me share this with everybody. Take a look.
We are here in Tampa, Florida for the NYC Mastermind Experience. It was an absolutely epic weekend.
This was our fifth one, the sixth one.
Coming up in Hot Atlanta, that's right, Atlanta, Georgia, and our host, the great T.O. Clay.
Hey, you don't want to miss it. Come September, the new Hollywood of the South, ATL, baby. Make sure from NY to Tampa to Atlanta, Georgia. Can't wait to see you there. Peace.
Light up the city, every rise tonight. Every speaker bringing down in that fire, that light. No funny, no fear, just truth on the mic. It's the NYC life, we unite, light up.
Yeah, light up the city. We're going to light up Atlanta for sure. Right? Grand Rising, Angeline.
Good morning.
So exceptional. Yes. Good morning. She does love you. And I'll put that again. Right? Absolutely true, Lancelot. Because she loves you. So, yeah. Karen, thank you and good morning to you. Let's consider the optics of what people are going to see when they get there. They're going to be able to see great speakers. They're going to see masterminds unfolding before their eyes. They're going to see people pouring into them and willing to help them. Because that's what happened in Tampa. We created masterminds and people were helping one another. I can help you with this. I can help you with that. Why don't we talk about this? We're going to have a discussion on sales. We're going to have a discussion on marketing. We're going to have a discussion on social media. We're going to have a discussion on taxes, whatever it is that is hot in the room. We're going to have a discussion, and anybody who raises their hand and says, I'd like to know more about this, guess what? There's probably an expert in the room on the subject you're looking for. And we're going to put them there in your mastermind so they can you can tap into their experience. Where do you get that when you go to an event? Usually you go to an event and you just see speaker after speaker and that's it. Adios, have a great day. But not us. You get to speak with the speakers. The speakers get off the stage, they come on, and they're part of your mastermind. They share their wealth with you because sharing is caring. And guess what? Every speaker we have is a caring speaker. And no, you're not going to be sold from the stage. Nobody, that we don't allow that at our events. I hate that. Man, I've been to events where it's one speaker selling, next speaker selling, next speaker selling. And then I ask myself, why am I here? So I can be sold to left and right, sold to left and right. Oh, that is so aggravating. So we don't do that. Yes, not only speak, but build genuine relationships. And Angeline, we would still love it. I know you're doing a lot of crazy things and you're incredible. We'd love to have you join us. So if you're able to, I know Leon said one of the things, she was there last time for general admission and she goes, Sifu, I can't come general admission. I got to do the VIP because I know the value of that. So whichever way that you can be with us in Atlanta, whether it's VIP, which is super cheap right now, it's $597, or general admission, which is $197. We've got you. It's an impressive time to for you to consider being with us.
And my last thought will be, as I think about the community that we're in and the people that we're surrounded by, I have become in the last year so knowledgeable only because of the environment that I've been around and how this AI works and how it works to be able to become an authority in what you're speaking about. I've learned how to to utilize AI in a way that hashtag. It's just so many things that I have learned that I'm willing to share with others, but it's only because of the environment that I have surrounded myself with, and I find myself becoming more and more comfortable and confident in my navigation of this young people's because you got a lot of these young kids that really don't know that much, but are using AI and are really making a living off of this. And I'm learning, and I am willing to share whatever knowledge I have because the only reason I have that knowledge is because of the proximity and the people that I'm around and the people that have introduced me to other people. And I learn. I am here to learn and I'm here to be a beacon of light for others. So this would be a wonderful opportunity for those of you who are just coming on to help you be able to navigate your way with this AI. You know what I mean? But that's just one example of the so many things that you get when you're in the New York City experience. You know, yeah, within the New York City experience, yes.
Absolutely. And we have some experts who are going to be coming who are really well versed on Claude and ChatGPT and other ones and AI agents and all these different things. Because when we use technology
To our advantage, yes.
for good, it makes a
Yes.
difference.
Yeah, and I'm no
And,
expert. I am not an expert. I'm just saying I have learned and
mhm.
feel confident. And whatever I've learned, I have no problem, free of charge, to give to those or pour into others because it was poured into me. And it's
I'm going to
fascinating.
rephrase that. I'm going to rephrase that for you. It's not free of charge because you've put in the time, you've put in the effort.
Right,
So
right.
your time is so valuable. And if
True.
somebody gets the chance to sit in front of you, they have to invest in their time to be with you. So it is an investment.
Right.
Nothing in life is free because the most valuable asset we have
It's time
is time.
and
And
our
so
attention
don't
to
ever
time.
say free,
Right, right,
say
right.
investment.
My
Right?
bad. You're absolutely right. I stand corrected. That's right.
You know, I love you, man.
I
And
love you
and
too.
but because I value your time, right? Because I value the fact that you're spending time with me even now, and that you made it here, and you only had 1 hour sleep. So
Yes.
you know, I know you have clients. I know you have a lot of things. So I don't want to hold you up anymore because
Right.
I need you well rested when I see you on Thursday. We're
Thursday.
flying together. You and I are flying together.
Yes,
We're going
yes.
to Virginia Beach. So we're
Looking
going to meet
forward
at
to
the airport. We're going to get to it, and then we're
it.
going to
Yes.
fly back to New York. And it's going to be an incredible weekend coming up
Yes.
Friday,
Yes.
Saturday, Sunday.
Looking forward
Beautiful
to it, man.
time.
You got it.
And guess what? If you get to be in Virginia Beach, you can say hi to Lancelot, say hi to me, and
Yes.
some of the other incredible people who are going to be there. But if you do go, take the advice we gave you today.
Yes. Learn to
And we
connect.
really want you in. Where do we want them, Lancelot?
Say it again.
Where do we want them? Where do we really want them?
We really want them in in Atlanta. We want them in Atlanta in September. So
That's
we'll
right.
see you in Atlanta in September. And if you happen to be in Virginia, come on down and check us out. Or
That's it.
anywhere in that proximity, because we're about to have a good time.
That's it. All right,
All right,
brother.
man. Take
Thank you.
care.
Have a nice day. See you
You
guys
too.
next week.
You got it, man. Later.
Everyone who's in the room is all about giving. Everyone who show up here and who are in the room are just givers, and they just want everyone to become better and better entrepreneurs, better founders, better coaches, better givers. you are going to meet the best of the best in this room, and it's an intimate experience, right? Sometimes you go to events where there are hundreds or thousands of people, and here in the New York City Mastermind, it's an intimate experience, so you really get to know them. You get to know them as people and not as just a number that's out there. So I highly recommend New York City Mastermind to anyone.